So I actually have some interesting updates to talk to you guys about. Just get your body moving. I'm gonna have some chocolate cake for dessert later. Low calorie salad. I feel like my worst insecurity is my arms. All right. This matcha is everything. So I actually have some interesting updates to talk to you guys about. So it's January 29th today, and for the past like 2 weeks, my weight has been really stalled, and it was so frustrating. I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to them about this, because it can be so frustrating when your weight is stalled. And I'm like, why is it stalled? You know, like usually your weight doesn't stall at the beginning of your weight loss journey. And obviously this isn't technically the beginning, like I've lost over 45 pounds, but I had like a good 3 months off. So this is like the beginning of this weight loss journey, you know, part 2 of my weight loss journey. But something was definitely going on with me hormonally. So first I was ovulating, which anytime I ovulate, I always actually go up a pound, or my weight usually just stays the exact same, but I usually go up a pound. And then after I was ovulating, I don't know what was going on with my hormones, but usually my weight comes down after that, but it's like my weight just held on all the way up until I got my cycle. But then after I got my cycle, whew, it was like finally, thank God, my weight drops. I'm actually gonna reference my app here. You guys know I use the scale that connects to the app, and it's so much easier to do, because actually during those 2 weeks when my weight stalled, I was getting so frustrated, and it felt like at the time I was like, oh my God, I haven't lost any weight in 2 weeks, like why? But at the time when I had that thought, I went to go look at my app to see my weight, and it actually had only been 9 days. So I was like, okay, Amy, like pump the brakes, like you're being a little dramatic. And then by that point I was like 3 days away from getting my period, so there was no way, you know, my weight was gonna drop after that. So then I was like, okay, now this makes sense. So that's why it goes to show you, like, it's actually really important to track your weight, to have something you can like reference and go back on, because sometimes when you're in the moment, you're like, oh my God, I haven't lost weight in like 2-3 weeks. And when you actually look at the data, you're like, oh, it's actually only been 10 days. I'm just being dramatic. So yeah, I actually really like having this tracker here. But anyways, so my last weigh-in with you guys, I think it was January 13th, 144.6 pounds. So I kept weighing myself, and I kept ranging in like the 145 pound range. And then finally I weighed myself on January 27th, and I weighed in at 143.2. I was shocked. So it goes to show you that's like a good almost 2 pound drop in a day. So just for some reason, my body was really holding on to water weight this cycle. Like I said, my body always holds on to a little bit of water weight, but usually just for a few days. This cycle, for some reason, my body was really holding on, but it was really helpful to just stick to my vitamins, stick to my workouts, just stick to my calorie deficit. And you guys saw me actually put in that Armor colostrum in my matcha, everything. Fun fact, my husband actually was talking about how beneficial colostrum is, and I was like, interesting. My first thought was like, where do you even get that? But then Armor popped into my email, and I was so happy that they did. They actually sent this out to me like a good month and a half-ish ago. I've already gone through half of it. It is amazing. If you don't know what colostrum is, it's incredible for your skin, your energy levels. It's great to support your immune system. It has over 400 plus functional nutrients like antioxidants, peptides, antibodies that really help to support your cells, to help to support your immune system. And like I said, even your skin. I've noticed that I am just glowing lately. So I'm really happy that I got this. Actually, this came in handy because last week my husband was sick, and luckily I did not get sick. So I'm over here chilling. Not to mention, it's also really great for your gut. So I've really been loving it. I use the unflavored version just because I like that I can put it into something and not taste it. But they do have flavored ones, which I've tried the blood orange, and that one is my favorite. When I'm not drinking something that I can't put this into, for example, then I will just mix it on its own. So then in that case, it is good to have the flavored one, but you definitely don't want to mix this into hot things. So I like mixing it into my matcha or even into yogurt. I've also been giving half a scoop to Kylo, just like sneaking it into his milk, into his smoothies, into his yogurt. You Don't even taste it, like I said, because it is unflavored. Oh, and my first thought immediately is this grass-fed colostrum? Like, is this from grass-fed cows? And yes, Armra actually upcycles leftover colostrum from grass-fed cows that are from family-owned US dairy farms. So I absolutely love that. It is the most sustainably sourced colostrum on the market. So definitely get your hands on this. This is one of the best bioactive whole foods you can add to your diet. So huge thank you to Armra for sponsoring today's video. I do have a discount for you guys. You can use the code Amy for 15% off, and I'm gonna leave my link down below for you guys to shop. Oh, and there's actually something else I wanted to talk to you guys about, because the other day I kind of caught myself getting caught up in this. And even though, you know, I've been losing weight for a while, and it's like, you should know, sometimes you just get lost in the sauce, and you just like, you have to remind yourself of these things. So a lot of the times I find myself like, oh, I wish I lost more weight this week. Why didn't I lose more weight? So let's talk about having realistic expectations for how much weight you should lose every week. I feel like a lot of us want to see like, oh, a 2-pound loss in 1 week, or even like a 1.5 pound, right? You want to see that scale go down. Like, it gives you such a good feeling, because I mean, it feels like your hard work is paying off, right? But realistically, a good amount of weight to lose is 0.5 pound to 1 pound. So 0.5 to 1 is really a realistic amount for you to see your scale going down every week. If your scale is consistently, and I say consistently because let's say 1 week you only lose 0.2. Okay, fine. Like, you don't need to feel like, oh my God, I have to change what I'm doing, something's wrong. But if you're noticing like every week for like a month straight, you're only losing 0.2 pounds or 0.3 or 0.4, yeah, that is pretty slow of a weight loss. So maybe there's something you can do to adjust. Unless you're comfortable with that, then that's okay, because there's nothing wrong with slow weight loss. Like, you're just gonna get to the finish line a little later, which is fine with that. But if you're not happy with that and you want a little bit of a faster weight loss progress, then definitely there's something you need to adjust. Maybe you need to get in more steps, be more active so that you can have a larger calorie deficit. Or if you don't want to be more active, then maybe you just need to lower how much calories you're having. A lot of the times too, I noticed that for me, it's funny because I actually came across an Instagram reel about this the other day. This girl said the reason why you might not be losing weight is because of BLTs, and it's not the sandwich. She was saying bites, licks, and tastes. And yes, that is so accurate. Like, I've been there, done that. I'm kind of like noticing throughout the day, I'll just be like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's just a little bite of this or a little taste of that or a little lick of this. But yeah, it ends up being like an extra 100 calories at the end of the day. So you might need to check yourself on that and just reevaluate your weight loss plan if you're noticing your progress is too slow. But if you're losing 0.5 to a pound a week, that is very good, normal, realistic progress. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're losing more than a pound a week and you're not at a starting weight that is considered obese for your height. So for example, if someone has like over 150 pounds to lose, that's a large amount to lose. Technically, they're considered obese by weight standards. In that scenario, it's normal to lose like 2 to 3 pounds a week consistently. But for someone who's losing weight, and let's say they're only losing 20 to 30 pounds, like that's just what their goal is, and they're not considered obese by BMI standards. And I say by BMI standards because obviously you guys know, like at the end of the day, everyone's gonna have a different definition of like what is skinny, what is obese, what is, you know what I mean? So as long as you're happy with your body, that is all that matters, honey. But I'm just saying, based on like BMI standards, if you are not considered obese, but let's say you have 20 pounds to lose or something, if you're losing over a pound a week, it's too fast. It's too much. And I'll tell you why. A lot of the times it's gonna affect your metabolism, because that goes to show that your calorie deficit is too large. So that technically means you're under eating because you're just losing weight at too fast of a pace, which in my experience usually results in binge eating and gaining the weight back, which is just my experience. I know a couple of you commented saying that you actually agreed with me with that that's the case for you too, but there was 1 or 2 of you that actually said it was had the opposite effect on you. Having that fast, quick weight loss actually motivated you more, which was interesting to me to hear that perspective. And that's pretty cool. It just goes to show you like everyone's mindset's gonna be different. But I will say the consensus in the comment section was that most of you guys agreed that like having that quick, fast weight loss, it gave you that high at first, but then there's always this drop, right? Where all of a sudden you have to maintain that weight loss and you realize the calorie deficit is too low, you can't stick to it, and you end up gaining the weight back. So it's not sustainable. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of like regroup on that and talk about realistic expectations, because I find myself getting caught up in it too. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I lose more? And then I look at the amount that I lost on my tracking thing, which again, just goes to show you it's so important to have it tracked. I always say this, look at the data, look at the facts, take your emotions out of the weight loss journey. Like this is not an emotional, even though it is an emotional journey, but you know what I mean? Sometimes I try to just take the emotions out of it and I just try to look at the journey from a scientific, analytical perspective. And then I'll go back and look and be like, oh, I lost 0.7. Yeah, that falls within the realistic range of, you know, half a pound to a pound a week. I wanted to mention to you guys to kind of circle back to what I was talking about earlier with how my weight always stalls when I ovulate, like always. And it's funny because before I was trying to conceive, I didn't notice that pattern. I actually always noticed like there was a time period where my weight would stall, but it wasn't around my cycle. Going to get a good walk in, and what that means for me today is to go in my basement and go on my treadmill. I officially moved my treadmill to my basement, which is just amazing. I loved having my treadmill upstairs because I really did have like a nice, huge, large window, so I had a nice view, but it didn't make sense because all of my other workout stuff is in the basement. That's what today's walk means because it is cold outside. Kylo is with my mom today. She's watching him while I work. So usually he's the one that like motivates me to get outside and like go for a walk, but these days he hasn't been wanting to go in the stroller. So usually our walks are just like chaotic. I call them chaotic mom walks, where I'm just like trying to like wrangle an active toddler in the streets of my neighborhood to make sure we all stay safe. I also wanted to say, not every workout needs to look like having a workout outfit on, putting on your workout shoes, gearing up to work out. Like sometimes you're just in your sweats. I'm not gonna put my sneakers on, I'm just gonna put my slides on. Why? Because first of all, there's a lot of debate about this, but research the facts, y'all. There are a lot of people that work out for years and years and years, way before our time, that work out with no shoes on. But especially on a treadmill, I'm just like, what's the difference between wearing slides and walking outside and wearing slides and walking in the treadmill? Like it's the same thing, I'm just walking. So yeah, sometimes that's just what a workout looks like. Like you don't have to feel that pressure of like, oh, if I want to work out, then I need to, you know, go put on this workout outfit and I need to go put on my sneakers. Sometimes by the time you get ready to work out, you're already like not in the mood anymore. Even if you're in your PJs, just get the workout in. Like a lot of the times I'm in my PJs and I'm in my living room just doing resistance bands workouts. So I don't know, I hope you guys know what I mean, but what I'm trying to basically say is sometimes it just means picking up your body, getting your body moving. Even if you're barefoot and in your PJs, just get your body moving. You know, I feel like enough people don't talk about that. It's like, just chill out with the expectations, you know? I've noticed that I'm way more likely to stick to something if there isn't as much pressure or as much expectations. So yeah, I'm gonna go do my little treadmill walk in my sweatpants right now. And I'm not putting on sneakers because I don't want to. Okay, before my workout, I'm actually a little hungry. So this right here is my jam. I actually showed a little bit of this in episode 1, but this is from a Portuguese bakery. The one in episode 1 was from the grocery store, but this is from a Portuguese bakery that my dad goes to. And he usually buys me like Portuguese buns from there and stuff like that. But one day he was like, do you want turkey? And I'm like, yes, sir, I want turkey because it is one of the leanest proteins that you can have. So low calorie and so high protein. One slice that's thin like this is about 20 calories, 25 calories, and 4 grams of protein. Like that's insane. To have that high amount of protein in such low amount of calories, win-win. This is one of my favorite snacks. Whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, this is just super high protein. I've been trying to eat more proteins, I kind of mentioned to you guys, but listen, I'm Portuguese. There's nothing I'm gonna enjoy snacking on more than meat and cheese. And I just love turkey. It's like one of the leanest, like I said. So I'm gonna snack on this and then just get a nice walk in. And while I'm walking in the treadmill, I'm gonna do some work on my phone. So kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, I just took some progress pics because that's something I tend to forget, is to take photos. Because a lot of times I'm vlogging, I'm taking a lot of like video footage, but I'm like, girl, you haven't taken photos in like months. So I just put on like a workout outfit, took some photos. I actually keep an album on my phone called Weight Loss Progress 2023, which I'm gonna update now to /2024. But yeah, I just did that. So mine, my bed is like not even properly made, but I feel like my worst insecurity is my arms. And I never wanna like properly show them because I just feel like they're so chubby. Like that's where a lot of my weight gets held or stored. Plus I actually have KP on my arms too. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but it's like keratosis pilaris. I hope I'm getting this right, but based on the research that I've done, it's kind of like a buildup of like dead skin from like an overproduction of keratin or protein. I don't know like too much about it, but it could be a gluten intolerance. I don't know, but your girl is not giving up gluten, so let's just dead that. But I will say it runs in my family. Like my dad has it, my sister has it, and I have it. So it just is what it is. But I happen to have it on my arms, and then I also hate like how chubby my arms are. This is just me being vulnerable, talking about one of my insecurities that I normally never do. Like I normally just hide my arms on camera because like who wants to look at something they don't like about themselves? But I'm like, let me just share it because you know what? Maybe when I reach my goal weight, maybe I'll like my arms more, and just, well, I'm sure I'll love my arms more because it'll be 20-pound difference. But maybe we could do a side by side and a before and after. You know what's funny? I never want to do do the before, right? Because I'm like, I don't like how they look. So why would I want to take photos and videos of something that I don't like how it looks, you know? But then when I do reach my goal weight and my arms slim down a bit, I'm sure they still won't be perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. But when they do slim down, then you're never gonna have that before footage. So this is me encouraging you, even if you don't like how you look right now, one, you gotta still love yourself. I still love myself. I just don't like how my arms look. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that I hate myself. But one, you gotta love yourself regardless. But two, even though you may not like how it looks on camera, just pop on that camera, open up your iPhone, just take the photo. Close your eyes if you have to, because when you reach your after, you're going to regret if you don't take your before. So let me show you guys my arms, okay? This is my arms, like me just not posing or anything. But honestly, can we give a shout out to my back? Can we give a shout out to that? This is not me sucking in, by the way, like this would be me sucking in. But can we give a shout out to that? Because I'm actually gonna roll back some footage here of what my back used to look like 2 months postpartum when I was like 100 and what was I don't even know. I think it was roughly 170 pounds. Whereas right now I'm 143. I had rolls on my back and now I pretty much have like none. I have like probably like the teeniest, like basically none. So shout out to my back progress right there. But yeah, this is my before of my arms. Well, not fully before because I'm in midway of my journey, but this is what my arms look like right now. And I just feel like they're like so chunky. Got these little chunky wonky arms. But yeah, it is what it is. There's gotta be people out there that relate. I know my sister can relate because we always talk to each other about that, like how we don't like how our arms look. But anyways, another thing I wanted to mention to you guys. So I like to make small goals and break down my journey into small goals. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but this is so helpful for me, especially at the beginning of my journey. Like let's say you have 40 pounds to lose. That number is very overwhelming, like 40 pounds. And after 10-pound loss, it can still feel like, oh my God, I'm so far away. Like, you know what I mean? You'll still feel like you're so far away from your finish line. So breaking it down into small goals feels so much more rewarding. It feels so much more realistic. So I have this note on my phone, which I've updated over time. Like the note is relevant to what my weight is right now. For example, I erased the previous goals. I started fresh for 2024. I kind of break it down into 5-pound goals because 5 pounds is such a smaller, more realistic, less overwhelming goal. So for me, I would love to hit 140 by February. So what that means is it could be by the beginning of February, could be middle of February, could be end of February. Doesn't matter, but just in the month of February, I would love to hit 140. So right now, like I told you guys, my last weigh-in, I was 143.2. So I got 3.2 more pounds to go before I hit that goal. And just like, that doesn't seem far away at all. That's not far away at all. 3 pounds, I can do that. And then it's like, after that, I only have 5 pounds before I reach my next goal. So it feels like I'm close to the, not finish line, but you know what I mean? It just, you have these small goals instead of something so large that just seems so far away. So this is kind of what I've set up here, but I definitely recommend that. Another thing that I like to do is set even smaller goals. So every week I'll say to myself, okay, like what's my goal for the week? So for example, my last weigh-in was 143.2 and that was on the morning of my cheat meal. On Saturday, I had a cheat meal. So if I ask myself, what's my goal for this week? What would I like to see on the scale this week? And keep in mind the weekly small goals, the ones I'm talking about right now, these ones are kind of flexible because you know, you might have an off week in the sense of maybe you're ovulating, maybe you ate something that upset your stomach and just has you bloated, maybe you're on your cycle. So these little weekly goals, you know, are very just like flexible. But the small goals that I set, like the 5-pound ones, those ones I like to really like motivate myself and stick to because those are much more realistic. The weekly ones, like I said, you might just be having an off week, but I like to even do that just to give me something to really reach for that week. So for example, my goal this week, if my last weigh-in was 143.2, I would love to see this week 142 on that scale. It may not be 142.0, like it may not be flat. It might be 142.8 or 142.6, whatever, but I want to see that 142 on that scale this week. That's like my little mini weekly goal for the week. So this is just my reminder to you guys that even though you might have 20 pounds to lose or 30 pounds or 60 or 100 pounds, break it up into smaller goals. At the beginning of my journey, when I had like 60 plus pounds to lose, I did like 10-pound goals. But now that I only have 20-ish, 25 pounds to lose, I broke it into 5-pound goals. So break it up into smaller goals. It's gonna feel much less overwhelming and much more achievable. Y'all, if I'm not holding my baby, I'm holding my other baby. Sugar said, Kylo's not home, so you gotta hold me. It's the paw for me. Also, can we talk about how many times I've changed tops or just outfits today? But low-key, I changed because I didn't want to wear a bra anymore and I can't wear no bra on camera with a white shirt, so I put on a black shirt. So yeah, now don't stare at my boobs now that I said that. My disdain for bras like needs to be studied. Okay, so I happen to have like nothing cooked for dinner tonight and it's already already 2:45 p.m. I could technically take out chicken, but it would only be defrosted in time by like probably 5 earliest, and I think that's even me being hopeful, maybe 5:30. And by that time, Kylo's gonna be home, he's gonna be hungry and want food. I don't wanna be like up cooking late, you know what I mean? So it's just gonna be one of those nights where there's nothing for dinner. Kylo has some food meal prep, so he'll be good, but mama needs some food. Like 2 days ago, I meal prepped mac and cheese for Kylo and my husband, and you guys would have seen that on my vlog channel, which I don't know if that went up yet, but that's like a good little thing I wanted to talk about. Is there's gonna be moments in your weight loss journey where maybe someone else is eating a different type of food, or maybe you're cooking a certain food and you're like, okay, this is not so calorie deficit friendly, should I eat it, blah, blah, blah. So I'll tell you guys what I did in that moment. For me, mac and cheese is not like my favorite food in the world anyways. Yes, it did look very delicious, but it's not even my favorite food anyways. So in that moment, I kind of had to use my logic and be like, okay, do I really want to use my calories on this? Because one, mac and cheese is not a very nutrient dense food. It's just a lot of carbs and not that much protein. So it's just not a nutrient dense food, and it's very calorie dense, meaning very high calorie for a small portion. If I were to have had that meal that night, my dinner would have been like a small portion of mac and cheese, and then like calories done, there's 700, you know what I mean? So it's like, who really wants to eat a dinner that small? Whereas I could just have a nice large dinner, like a dinner that looks like this size for the same amount of calories, that's way more nutrient dense, you know what I mean? So for in that moment, I personally did not have the mac and cheese for dinner. I just meal prepped it for my husband and Kylo, and they had it. But my sister came over that day and she made this delicious sun-dried tomato, like rice and chicken in the pot. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely having that because it's way more nutrient dense and I can have a larger volume for the same amount of calories as the mac and cheese. But yes, I could have definitely had the mac and cheese. Like, this is not me saying mac and cheese is evil, you cannot eat mac and cheese if you're losing weight. It's just, for me, it's not even my favorite food. Whereas there's other foods where I'm like, oh, I am definitely making room for that in my deficit, even though it is not nutrient dense and it is very calorie dense. For example, y'all are gonna see, I'm gonna have some chocolate cake for dessert later. And that is a perfect example where that is one of my, like, I have a big sweet tooth. I am willing to sacrifice my calories for that and kind of budget my calories for that and save up for that. Could I have something way better for 250, 300 calories? Yes, but it is okay. It's gonna make me happy, and happiness matters too, not just what's on the scale. You know what I mean? So if you want that chocolate cake, if you want that mac and cheese, have it. You can fit it into your deficit. But what I'm trying to say is just on that day, I was like, I'm gonna have something better for dinner because the mac and cheese looked delicious and I did have a little taste and it was fire, but I was like, I can have a way more nutrient dense meal than this. And I'm glad that I did, because I had a very high protein dinner that night. I still had like my rice and everything like that, and then I had a nice salad on the side, so just a larger volume. And the next day my weight dropped, so I was actually really happy the next morning when I saw that drop on the scale. I was like, okay, it was worth it to skip the mac and cheese. Another thing I could have done as well is like have a small amount of mac and cheese, have a lot of the chicken, and then have a nice big salad on the side too. So that's an option too. So this is just me saying that if you have multiple people that live in your home, or maybe you're cooking a different meal for your husband or whatever, you can eat the same meal as them. Just change the portion, add a large salad on the side. Or if you decide, I don't really want to waste my calories on that, then that's okay too. Like, sometimes in your journey, there's just different decisions you're gonna have to make. So another example of that is like, let's say I want to order pizza one night. That's my cheat meal. But then someone also invites me to dinner the night before, but I really got my mind on that pizza for the next day. Then now I have to decide, do I have 2 cheat meals in a row, or like, do I really save it for that pizza? So then maybe when I go to the restaurant, maybe I sacrifice and I just still stick to my deficit instead of having 2 cheat meals. You know what I mean? So it can be very tempting in moments like this when I don't have anything for dinner to just be like, oh, I don't have anything for dinner, let me just order some food. One, I've been really trying to stay away from ordering food. I think I've been ordering like probably once a month, not even that, in the last like 6 months. Really trying to just save a ton of money. Like, I looked back at my bank statements and y'all, like, you can easily spend $1,000 just from buying takeout. It is such an easy way to save money, is to just avoid takeout. So yeah, this is an example of like, in this moment, I could easily say, oh, let me just order some food since I don't have anything, you know, made tonight or anything defrosted to cook for dinner. No, honey, because if you open that fridge, I guarantee there's food in it. You can put something together. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I have some naan bread in the fridge. We're gonna make some pizza, and I'm probably gonna have a nice salad on the side with it, and it's gonna be delicious. Is it gonna be exactly what I want for dinner? Like, I would have loved to have some chicken, and I have some leftover of that sun-dried tomato rice, but the chicken's not gonna be defrosted in time, and I'm still gonna make a yummy, healthy dinner that's calorie deficit friendly. So I love to prep it ahead of time. So I'm gonna do it now, but I'm not gonna like make it yet. I'm just gonna make the pizza and put it in the fridge, and then later on, I'll pop it in the air fryer. And that's it, that'll be my dinner. Okay, one last thing, and then I promise I'm gonna stop running my mouth. The other thing too with ordering food when you're trying to lose weight is it can definitely still be done, but you truly never know exactly how much calories are in it unless the place that you're eating has calories on like their menu, or you can look it up or whatever. But even then, you still don't really truly know, because it depends on the person that made it. Did they make the food the exact way that it was supposed to based on what the calories were calculated? Like, did they put 2 tablespoons of mayo, whereas the calories on the menu and the way they're supposed to actually make it is just 1 tablespoon? Did they put extra oil in the rice? That like, and it's not a big deal, don't get me wrong. I'm like, you could still eat out on a weight loss journey, but I personally don't recommend doing it frequently, because I have done that in the past, not frequently, but like I've done that in the past where like I'll eat out maybe twice a week on a weight loss journey, and I noticed that I lose less weight that week. Like, you're gonna lose more weight when you control your own portion size, when you control the way that you make the food. So that's another reason, honey, you're gonna get skinnier and get richer by avoiding getting takeout. I mean, what's better than being skinnier and richer? Let's be honest here. And just like that, you have a super quick, fast, easy lunch or dinner. And even though it's not cooked yet, when it comes time to like eat, literally just pop it in the air fryer. I do like 325 for about like 7-ish minutes. Every air fryer is probably gonna be different, but I definitely recommend cooking it in a lower heat, like 325. That way it won't get burnt before like the whole thing actually gets cooked through properly. And I'm telling you, you have your dinner done in like less than 10 minutes because you already prepped it. And I'm gonna make a nice salad right now, which by the way, this salad, the other day, I wanted to add volume to my meal, but I didn't want to add calories because I had already kind of maxed out my calories for that dinner, but I really wanted to add more volume. So this salad I'm about to show you is such a low calorie, almost non-existent calorie salad. Like literally, it's like pretty much 10 calorie salad without the dressing, but obviously you want to add a little bit of dressing, okay? Don't starve yourself here. No, but seriously. So once you add the dressing, which I just do a little drizzle of, it's like an under 50 calorie salad, but it adds so much micronutrients and adds so much volume. So let's make a little salad that I'll have on the side of this pizza. And there you have it, a gorgeous 20 calorie salad. Keep in mind the calories are heavily dependent on the portions of what you put in here. So for the olives, you'll notice I put very little amount. For the oil, I just did 4 sprays, which is almost nothing. So very dependent on that. So definitely keep the oil and the olives low, and this will be a very low calorie salad. You'll also notice that I skipped the cheese. I love cheese in my salad, but for days like this, when I'm looking for a very low calorie way to add extra volume, I just skip the cheese. Okay, you guys have no idea what just happened. Like literally my air fryer just caught on fire. It was a whole thing, okay? I literally had to grab Kylo, go outside, but then I realized I could come inside, but I had to go upstairs because this whole floor was smoking. I didn't want him to breathe that in. Let this be a PSA to clean your air fryer, especially like the top of it. I clean my air fryer, but the top often goes unclean because it's like such a tricky area to clean. You have to like twist your neck up and look at it. And it was full of grease, and I guess it caught on fire, and it was like, No joke, it was literally one of the scariest moments of my life. But thank God that got resolved. Everything is a-okay. So food is ready, but I did have to do my pizza in the oven and not the air fryer. I've definitely learned my lesson. So if y'all haven't cleaned your air fryer in a hot minute, make sure you clean even the areas that you wouldn't think of cleaning. Anyways, my dinner looks so good. I want to get myself some nice little aesthetic clear salad bowls because I don't know, I think that would be cute. But let's just chit chat real quick about dessert. So I had my cheat meal on Saturday night. Today's Monday, and I had some of this cake and I have a small piece left. No, I did not eat the whole cake myself, but I did eat like a good half of it. Not gonna lie to y'all. Not all in one day, but yeah. I had it yesterday for dessert too. But the great thing about it is you can fit it into your calorie deficit. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. There's one piece left and this is so good. If you guys are Canadian, then you know what this cake is right here. This is the McCain cake. And I just found out literally last week that you guys in the States or in the US do not have McCain cake. Mind blown. Like, what? I thought McCain cake was like a whole worldwide situation because that's just how amazing it is. It's everything. So I was really shocked to learn about that. But this just goes to show you, if you love something and you have just like this, what do you want to call it? Like, everyone has their vice, right? For me, my vice is dessert. Like, I love me some chocolate and I love desserts. So I'm not going to compromise on that. I'm going to still live my life, enjoy my life, and lose weight while doing it. I can eat some chocolate cake if I want to. I ate healthy for 80-90% of my day. I'm not going to die if I eat some chocolate cake. You know what I mean? And you're still gonna lose weight, regardless of it being chocolate cake, regardless of what people want to say. When it comes to weight loss, it is just calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie deficit. I keep drilling that into you guys' minds because it is a scientific fact. This is not my opinion, this is a fact. So as long as you incorporate this and make room and budget for it, the same way you would budget to buy that Birkin bag, honey, I am budgeting for this chocolate cake, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious about my chocolate cake. Like, y'all can buy Birkin bags, I'm gonna buy this chocolate cake. No, I'm just messing around now, but seriously, you guys can save up your calories and eat whatever you want if you have that little vice. If you like coffees that are a little bit high calorie, budget for it. Life is too short. You can still lose weight and eat the stuff that you love. So I'm gonna eat me some chocolate cake later. Oh, this smells so good. I need to go eat because I just had like a traumatic night. I'm vlogging for my second channel, so I told the whole story over there, but it was a whole situation and that was legit super scary. But I am happy that everything is resolved now and I can go eat some dinner.